Eric was able to watch Death Before Dishonor. He did purchase an ROH pay-per-view, guys.
I generally do.
He did it. He watched Ring
Yeah.
of Honor.
Yeah.
He watched Ring of Honor.
Yeah, no, I generally watch Ring of Honor pay-per-views. Okay,
one of us did. But Eric wanted to do a little bit of a recap for Death Before Dishonor. I saw online it was just a great show with an awesome women's main event. I'd love to hear kind of your highlights of the card and does this move the needle for Ring of Honor moving forward? Does this intrigue you moving forward? Should I be getting on Ring of Honor and watching all these matches now? Should I be invested in Ring of Honor now? But I'm going to leave it to you and kind of give me your thoughts on that show.
Yeah, man. So I did not catch 0 Hour, admittedly, but I did watch the replay of this later on in the weekend as far as the pay-per-view itself. And first match right out of the gate, Gravity versus Commander. I've never seen a Gravity match before, so I'm super excited not only to have gotten to see this match with Commander because it was awesome, but we're getting Gravity versus Pac. So insert every man that Gravity forgot joke that you can think of on the interwebs. But
Tony Troll.
Seriously, I mean, just an absolute, just a barn burner of an opener. Anytime you can start with a little Lucha Libre action, it's just a good way to start a pay-per-view. So really, really love that match. And then next up, we had Samoa Joe and Dalton Castle for the television championship. Man, I love Dalton Castle, dude. I mean, without fail.
I'm surprised he's not signed anywhere besides Ring of Honor.
Right?
His personality, he reminds me of like Nakamura when he was in Japan. Just oozes that charisma and like just kind of brings you in right away. I've seen him live a couple times, and it's really cool to see the entrance live and him interact with the crowd. Back when I used to go to indie shows before the Usos came, it was he just has that kind of it factor about him. I know he had a back injury a couple years ago, and that kind of slowed him down a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see with this relationship with AEW and Ring of Honor if he kind of jumps to the main roster of AEW, because I think he could be a great addition to that roster.
Very much so, and especially because you and I are always talking about ways that they can flesh out the TNT division or the international championship division, and just the depth of talent. Again, we always say that they're on the roster that we're not necessarily always thinking about, or they are on Ring of Honor where it's a paid for streaming service and not cable that is much more readily and widely available. So when you think about a guy like Dalton Castle, who, I mean, one thing that always sticks out for me about Dalton Castle is the second that he's starting to make his walk, laser focus on that camera. He is cutting a promo into the camera, so he's getting that attention at home and maximizing the TV minutes that he gets. That's not always easy, and he makes it look like child's play when he does it. And he is such a throwback to that Gorgeous George, Adrian Adonis, flamboyant vibe, but is also a hell of a technical hand too. So the fact that he got this chance to shine and mix it up with Joe, I mean, they're both Ring of Honor mainstays. Joe looks great as always, king of television, retains the television title. He's on a roll right now, and he's another person that I'm surprised is just on Ring of Honor. And that the fact that they're not using him as much on Collision, and we'll see kind of where this goes with this CM Punk feud, but it seems like that's starting to gravitate more into Ricky Stark's territory with CM Punk. So we'll see what happens with Joe, but it was a great match. Absolutely. And then I almost called it the fatal four-way, but the four-way match for the Ring of Honor. Yes.
WWE has that patent, pal.
They do. Aussie Open defeated Lucha Brothers, the Kingdom, and Best Friends to win the tag team championships, gold back in the United Empire to join with Will Ospreay in that United States Championship. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Aussie Open. Everything that they touch turns to gold anyway. I think that this was the right choice. Lucha Brothers need to find their way back to either Collision or Dynamite soon. I mean, we forgot that they were the Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Yeah, we did. And it's a little bit surprising that they lost it, no? I mean, this was their first title defense?
That I don't know.
I mean, I know it's the first time since they won the titles that Ring of Honor has done a pay-per-view.
Okay.
And interesting.
Yeah. Shibata defeated Daniel Garcia in the.
I'm gonna go back real quick. Sorry, let me rewind.
Okay.
You can edit this out. I'm sorry. Do you think them dropping the titles now leads to them coming back to the main roster?
You see exactly.
That's
and
hilarious.
That's the thought that we're having. And and we're going to go into this more after we kind of just go through the entire card here and what Tony Khan said about Ring of Honor at the presser afterwards. But yeah,
it's funny.
It's just, yeah, funny. I think that it's time. Yeah.
Do you think them now dropping those straps, moving back to Dynamite, are they going to team up with Pac and kind of do this BCC feud? Because that kind of seems the way they're leaning storytelling wise here as of late.
They could. I mean, there was a bit of a schmoz at the end of another match that comes up here later where it was hard to tell kind of what was going to go on with everybody here. But I think that it would be appropriate for them to make their way back to Dynamite or Collision. I would love to see FTR and the Lucha Brothers. That's
Has that not happened?
Not that I can think of.
Interesting.
Yeah,
another interesting from the podcast. I mean, a lot to think about today.
Man, there's still a lot of dream matchups in wrestling right now, and that's definitely one of them. Why not see what they can do? But
they'd have a great match. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would do great. They would do great. All right, I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead.
No. That's okay. I'm glad that you asked that question. Next up, we had Shibata defending the Pure Championship against Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia is, he's so close to that babyface turn, man. It's right there. And it was just an absolutely insane match. I think my favorite spot is when Shibata's got him in a sleeper hold and he's still dancing, but it was good. It was good. Daniel Garcia is right at home in the Pure division, and I hope they keep that up. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife that you can put across all three shows and he'll do something really, really interesting. So, that's kind of one of those floaters I think that will be okay. And I don't know. I think this is still about the broader question of, do they do a brand split? Is it a complete brand split? Is it a soft one? Is it WWE where we're going to do it and then just kind of forget about it or ignore it? I don't know.
You mean like a Raw superstar defending an NXT champion on SmackDown?
Yes, exactly.
How did Shibata look?
Look great.
Obviously,
man.
I'm going to go back and watch this, guys. I'm sorry, but just for those who haven't seen it, how did he look? Like, I know he's dealt with that head injury for a little bit, and the New Japan thing was kind of weird. And I know at the press conference he was very, very thankful for Tony Khan giving him this opportunity. So I'd be interested to see how did he look, and did he look like old Shibata? Has he changed the style a little bit? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, if he was ailing with something, I certainly didn't notice it. He looked great. It was a very entertaining match. Came in just under 15 minutes, and they beat the piss out of each other. It's just what they know how to do with that particular championship. And I love how well booked it is. When you think about the X number of rope breaks that you get, and the number of the rope breaks, and how just everything, with Pure rules, I can't remember them all off the top of my head right now, so I'm not even going to try to memorize through them, but just the way that they booked that particular match, it really did have that true 3X structure, which I think fits a match of that caliber. So it's, it was great. Absolutely.
Good. Cause I know he was poised for a huge run in Japan, and then those head injuries came in. It was good to see. It's fun to see him back in the ring, because when I was into New Japan and I had New Japan World and all that, I know he was one I kind of gravitated to when he first came around. So that's good to hear, and that's again something I'll look forward to maybe we start paying for Honor Club. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm a soft maybe on it, and we'll break that down a little bit more.
How much is it?
$9.99.
All right, I'm 5 in, you're 5 in. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Well, Next up, we had the Dark Order.
Wrestling. keep interrupting today. I'm sorry. My coffee's starting to kick in.
That's okay. Next up, we've got the Dark Order taking on Stu Grayson and the Righteous in a fight without honor. This was really, really physical. First of all, I did not realize until probably within the last month that Stu Grayson had left the Dark Order or turned on him, whatever you want to say. So this did kind of feel like that blow off blood feud. Sad to see where Dark Order has gone to, considering where it was once upon a time. But this was a very entertaining match. It's the first time that I can recall in a non-independent match the use of thumbtacks and Legos, and it was great.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I did see Evil Uno tweet a picture afterwards, and his mask was all ripped up and bloody. And
yes.
Yeah. I also did not know Stu Grayson was not in Dark Order anymore. I had no idea.
We're sorry.
We are sorry. And again, this is why we're going to go in and we're going to watch Ring of Honor now. I could add that to my list. It's an hour of TV,
why
right?
not? Yeah.
I mean,
sure. I
have nothing else going on.
See, you say that. You'll add what I think Ring of Honor is like 90 minutes now. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Oh man, that's too much.
See, I'm glad that you said that, because I was getting ready to throw a little shade because you can't even keep up with NXT Level Up.
Okay, can anybody? I tried.
It's more that you said that you were going to do it, so I'm not worried. It's only
about 20 minutes. Else. Level Up's only 20 minutes.
It is only 20 minutes?
It's only 20 minutes.
Oh, and you can't keep up with that?
Byron Saxton was on commentary. Come on. That's tough. I'll watch it on mute.
Fine. Okay. That works. There you go. You
I also tried to go back and watch like old ones, but it's not updated. Like the most recent one uploaded on there is like from a month ago. Come on. Okay. Come on, Peacock. What are we doing? Get on it.
Do better.
Get on it. Back to the Dark Order. Do you see them doing anything with Adam Page? We kind of left that storyline kind of hanging.
Yeah.
Where he kind of deserted his friends, and then they teased something, and then they never really followed up. Do you see that coming back into story, or do you see the Dark Order just kind of dissolving? Because I don't think they're going to ever dissolve it.
Yeah, I don't see them dissolving, but I'm not overly confident that they'll revisit the Adam Page thing. I mean, he's been busy enough the last few months with Blackpool Combat Club, and it's all. I mean, at least at the time that we're recording this, we're coming off of Blood and Guts, and we've not seen the follow up of what is next for everybody. So we are a little bit early on, kind of what could be done with them right now.
Yeah, because it just seems like Adam Page is kind of the odd man out. Like, Kenny, I think the Young Bucks are going to go back to the tag division, start doing that again. I think Kenny can start going for the world title because we need that Kenny Omega MJF match.
Yes.
I think the BCC's turning face after what happened last week, and maybe we see a little bit of an implosion of that group with Danielson not maybe turning face as well, because I don't want him face.
Yeah, I don't either right now.
And maybe that's in an inner squabble between the group of Danielson, yelling at Moxley, and then we get that. That's what started the whole thing. So maybe that's what we go back to, and then. Yeah, like I said, that kind of just leaves Hangman out. Like Kenny, I will say Kenny still has the issues with Takeshita. So that's probably what Kenny's going to do next. Hangman, I wouldn't mind going back to the Dark Order and kind of doing that storyline. And I just need some finality to that storyline of.
Sure.
I mean, he ditched his friends to go hang out with his cooler friends and kind of left the other friends on the playground. We never got that follow-up of what happened afterwards. So we'll see what happens. For me, Hangman, I don't know what's next for him. Everybody else kind of has a clear vision. I just don't know what's next for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see him going back to the World Championship picture anytime soon. I think that's very, very crowded. How